Is Daf Yomi Yerushalmi Ma'asros article rose for addition host for other addition Mash Daf Yud Zayin Amud Aleph. And in the Vilna we're on Daf Yud and we're on the ninth line down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now Kech More of us to the Dorsa. And I'm supposed to war we should have a schus for Yerushalmi. We should see Yeshua's in the Chamas. So for time being, the Kavanaki changes the order in the Brisa. I don't know why. He also adds the words Brisa. Tanya, look at Grogras. The figs first. We'll see the Darshan is eventually going to press them into cake Tamarim. Dates. We'll see the Darshan also going to press them into some sort of cake. Also, Lechom and a rye. You're not allowed to eat from a snack. You have to fix, but nevertheless you fix them as, since you just purchased them, as you take from them as soon as somebody says the might. So you're not allowed to eat them as a rye. This is Rabbi Meir Lishitaso, says the Kavanaki, that a purchase is toivel, mixed hevel, even though it's not yet kamar malacha. But still you have to be masaking them only as demai, not as vadai, because Ameoritz, I guess, before they sell, even though it's before Kamar Malacha, they often do take off reps, mostly do take off Trumas and Ma'asros. So you took the dates and the figs unpressed, you had a mind to press them. According to the mayor, you have to take off Trumas and Ma'asros. Divrei Meir. Chomrim Ochamen Arayim B'Tagv. The Badai Chachamim say on the other, no. You can eat from them. They're still not considered to be finished because you took them. I'm asked to finish them off by pressing them, but on the other hand, the Amoritz is not Misaki until Gemar Malacha. That's day out. So therefore, the takeoff Trumas Samais at this point in time would be Vadai. Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Elazar B'Shem Rabbi Chilfoi. Rabbi Yoina Umar. I guess they also name Rabbi Yoina. Not sure the same names appear in the Vilna. Ashken see a Pinchas de Chilfoi we found in the Pinchas of in the notebook of Chilfoi. Chilfoi, of course, was Ilfa, the friend of Rabbi Yochanan, who went out to look for a living with him, and Rabbi Yochanan came back, and Ilfa went out. But evidently, as he was traveling, as travels and learning, he wrote down Pinchasim. He wrote down notebooks. So it says Oichem Marai was talking to the mic. You can still snack for them, of course, but when you're masaking them, you take off the mine. It's considered to be the mine not valid. Kasha, it's difficult. If you're eating from them a snack, masaking at night, it would seem to be that they were not yet Gemar Malacha, not yet Gemar Malacha. So when you take off a mice, it should be vadai. Or vice versa, you're talking to the mai, if you're fixing them as the mai, you also should be also arai. Shouldn't be able to snack from them. How is this statement in the Pinchas of Chilfoi work out? Rabbi Yosef said, "Ochamen arai mishum davar shalom malachtos." He says, not a problem. You eat from them arai because it's like you had kamar malacha. Masachta the mai, and you fix them as mai. Mitoch sheder shebeso toivel, because the Amoritz knows that if he takes them home and finishes them off, he's going to have to fix them himself. So therefore, he's since he knows that's the case, also he takes a truma already before Gemar Malacha, and even though they weren't yet fully tevel, and therefore even though afterwards he changes his mind, he sells them, so therefore it still remains to mine. And you don't take off the Torah's body, but only mine. Okay, we have a header here in the Kavanaki. I don't know if we have it in the. No, we don't have it in the Vilna. It's going back in the Mishnah on Kalkeles Te'enim, on a container of figs, which the Mishnah said that the Kalkeles Te'enim Shetam Reb Shim Matir Chachamim Osrin. It's considered to be according to the Rabbanic Gemar Malacha, and the question is why we shouldn't be matir. It's really talking about any basket, not just figs. The reason it says figs is because it's a chiddush that even though they're almost never eaten fresh, nevertheless, once you made a basket out of them, a Coca-Cola, So then that's considered to be kover them, and they're chayiv and Trumas Maisus immediately. Tanya, we learned that was from the Kavanoki. I don't know if he's quoting anybody. Rav Shimon Tanya, it says Tanya in the Vilna, but it says, no, it does not. Rabbi Shimon Matir B'Kavachomer, Shimon Princess of Kavachomer. The Rabbi Shimon holds that the taking up the Rabbi Shimon holds that Truma, taking up Truma does not make something tevel. And he says, "Umayim b'shosh yesh lazikas shlosha ma'asros." In the time when it still has 3 types incumbent upon it, Truma and Ma'aser Rishon, Ma'aser Sheni, Ma'aser Rishon, Ma'aser Oni, at Omer Muti says mutter until you are pnei bayis. B'shosh ein level lazikas Ma'aser echad. Now when it only has the affinity to one Ma'aser, Lo Koshke is not a Kavachomer, which is seems very strange because it seems counterintuitive. I think I skipped. That's why it's counterintuitive. Okay, let's go back. That's why I skipped straight to the Mishnah. Tana Shimatin Kavachomer. Ba'im B'Shah Shesh Lazikas Shlosha Ma'aser Omer Mutar Shosha Ein Lazikas Shlosha Ma'aser. Now, when there isn't a zika of 3 Ma'asros, Lo Koshkein is not a Kavachomer. In other words, it's before it has an affinity to Trumas and Ma'asros. I still understand what I'm talking about here. 1 second. It's not that I don't understand what I'm talking about. It's a tremendous chiddush. It is, we say, even though it's a later stage, right? Trumas have been taken off. In that case, the Trumas already been taken off. On this Kalkol Shel I'm going to hold the fact that it's a basket and it's a Kalkol Shetorma, and it was Trumas taken off. So now you can't eat from it right anymore. Shimon says no. If the Kalkol when it was no Truma taken off, you can eat from it right, because even though the Zika Sholosh Ma'aser Slav, there are 3 types which are incumbent upon it. Now the Trumas been taken off, only 2 types are incumbent upon it. Lokoshkin can still snack from it. In other words, it's been upgraded. It's, so to speak, less usher. So you certainly should be able to eat from it as a snack. So it's counterintuitive, of course, because it's late in the process. And clearly, Rabbi Shimon, this is clearly based on the assumption that Rabbi Shimon holds, Batson, taking up Truma is not toivo. So therefore, you can make a kavachomer and say, oh, it's kaviyachol kavachomer. And this is little kavachomer, because again, it indicates it's late in the process. In fact, the Truma is taken off. But he's saying, it's little kavachomer. If when 3, it's missing 3 tights, you can snack from it. Now it's only missing 2 tights, so you certainly can snack from it. Okay, so now I'm going to ask, Risha Maushi Pilasheni. So the according to Rabbi Shimon, what about Ma'aser Rishon? If you took on Ma'aser Rishon, is now tevel and can't eat it until Ma'aser Sheni is taken off. So no, according to Rabbi Shimon, if it has the affinity of 2 Ma'asers on it, Ma'aser Rishon, Ma'aser Sheni, after Truma is taken up, I don't remember Muti, so you can still snack from it. Similar vein, and now it only has the affinity of 1 Ma'aser. Lo Koshkein is not a kavachomer. You certainly eat it at this point. Okay, so again, the kavachomer is based on the assumption that until Gemara Malach, according to B'Shimon Be'etzem, there's no obligation whatsoever. The Mishnah goes on to talk about somebody who gives a friend in Isser and says, give me this 5 figs. You shouldn't eat till you meiser. Kohen Meir says you eat 1 by 1 and be potter. If you join them together, you're chayiv. Okay, so the Rabbi Zir Shemel said, Rabbi Hillel Shemel Loza said, Ma pligin, what's a machlekes? But locate v'no selo, where the owner of the garden, where they're growing, gathers and gives him. And Lokeh acquires it when he pulls them, when he picks them up. So really, when he picks them up, the mekach should have been kover, right? but there's no Gemara Malacha because he took them one by one, right? So that was the Makpiyim look at the nice and low. Avo beloke leachol, but if Lokeach himself is gathering them to eat. Everybody a mayor holds they can eat without micing because that is considered. It says mayor like taking when it's to mechubel karka. I paid him like you pick your own, right? So I paid him that I pick my own. I bought it when it's mechubel karka. So mekach is only kovea according to those who holds kovea if it's after it's tolish. But when it's the mechubel karka, it's not kovea. Now the Mishnah said you can see Rev Chayav. If you join it together and make kind of like a mini pile, then you're chayav. Rabbi Hillel b'Shem Rabbi Lezer said, "Kishem shem chalukim conscious." They argue here, kach chalukim b'chotzer beis shmira. So they argue by the chotzer beis shmira, which is a place where one place which goes there for mice, we shall see in Perek Yimah Halacha Hey. Meir holds even eating one by one, even though later on in these Mishnayos, in the Mishnayos of Perek Yimah, Mishnah Ches Yud, it says that in a chotzer you can eat one by one. Right? Meir doesn't argue, so it could be that. Why here does he argue? So Rabbi was saying that he does argue. But the Mishnayos themselves, he doesn't argue. He says, he does. Don't make a mistake. He does argue. You can't eat them one by one. Sorry, you want to mitzaref. You are no mitzaref chayav. We're not that bad mitzaref over here. There is a header here in the Kavanah which I don't understand. It's also the yeah, it's also here in the article, though not as a header. In the article, it says, "Rabbi Hillel Shem is mapim b'loket for nice and low, avo b'loket lechol." I'm going back, obviously. Loket lechol kama moyeshu eichel achas hachas u'poter v'im tzirev chayav. The article eliminates the difficulty I just had, right? By illuminating and I have as a header, which is correct. Tzirev chayav is just it's a tack on from Mishnah in the on the last statement. Oh wait, it's if you're mitzaref, you're chayav. Okay, perhaps it shouldn't be there altogether because it's talking about you lokech m'chubar. It means if you lokech m'chubar, if you're mitzaref, you're chayav. But now Rabbi Hillel b'Shem Eliezer says is going on in machlekes in the ratio before tziref. So let's go back and say that again. Rabbi Hillel b'Shem Eliezer said shem chalukin kankan chalukin chotzer beis hashmira. So there are about chotzer beis hashmira. In other words, in the Mishnayos in the third parak, Rabbi Meir argues as well. Dam Rabbi Yochanan b'Shem Rabbi Yanai, because Rabbi Yochanan saying Rabbi Yanai, mekach v'chotzer b'Shabbos einon Torah. Mekach, that mekach is koveh in terms of tevel, acquisition. That chotzer, I mean, koyar is koveh. Shabbos is koveh are not the raisa. The only the rabbanan, if it's machlokas. Rabbi Arishem Mishum Elogish Omar HaMechuvar. The Mikulan, the one which there is one which is mechuvar. Mechuvar in the Bav literally means the whitest, but in the Yerushalmi it means also that which is the Raisa. What is Kovei the Raisa is Chotzer, because it says by Meiser and Varim Perikabah Pasuk Yud Beis V'achlu Bisharecha. So the Kohen Rabbi Yochanan, the Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Yochanan say that Chotzer is no worse than Mekach. And if Rabbi Meir also agrees that Mekach is Koveh, is also going to hold that Chotzer is Koveh. And he's trying to most take it from the Chaznish Kohen, which is Kavanaki. So therefore, if it's a Kavachomer, if Rabbi Meir holds that Mekach is Koveh, that's like Rabbanan, certainly he's going to hold that Chotzer is Koveh. That's because that's the right Raisa. Chavrav Shem Yochanan said, "Kach Yamesh Rabbi Yisrael Meir." The Chav is the name Rabbi Yochanan. This is what Rabbi Yisrael responded to Meir. Yet the Moedeli, do not concede to me. Be nice if no shoe potter that a person gives his son one by one to eat by snack, um, um, Mali Alekim and nice no, it makes it into somebody gathered and gave it to his son. That the son can snack Mali Alekim and or if it's another person, he still can be snack with right. According to me, it's not a taina because he holds that a matana is not like a mecher. So Rabbi Yehuda holds that matana is kovea le'inyan meiser, and if we say that the son as long as the son is eating one by one, it's okay. So therefore, you gave it to him. So it must be that somebody who gathers one by one, or gets from not just gathers, somebody who gets from the moicher one by one, he also is going to be part of Shumus and Ma'asros. And Mel no, my son is different. It's a matana. That's why he's potter. Whereas the person who's buying it, he's going to be chayiv. Now, Rabbi Yehuda, boy, Rabbi Yehuda is going on the back on the case of the locate. What was it? He said, case of Helch v'chulei, ten libo v'chulei. Yeah, this is saying, here's money, and go, you give me from your field. By Rabbi Yehuda, I think here it's B'nichusa. It's a statement. Ma'acham is meimar. No, it's a question. Ma'acham is meimar, but locate the no say low. Is it specifically talking about where the buyer, the seller, gathers and gives to the buyer, or neimar locate for ochel, or we're talking about even where the buyer gathers up and eats it. He says that that you can't say I'm just talking about where you are located. Ochel eligible located for no selo, but rather where he gathers and gives. How do we know that? From the and in the Mishnah it says Inas Vradi. It talks about the rose garden. So rose garden in which in Yerushalmi where the figs were sold 3 and 4 Isser, and nobody ever took a Shumas Ma'asros from this. And Ginas Vradi was a case of located for no selo. Owners of the garden would gather and collect. They would not let the buyers come into the garden and collect themselves. So if as it says, Isra Gvinas Gvarim Beloikev Eichel, you say here's Gvarim, so where you go down and collect yourself. Lo, can't be. Ela Beloikev Neso, it's where you gather and give. He gathers a give. Afacha, so too, in the beginning of the Mishnah, it's about Lokev and Nosei Lo. Dormalei, he says, In at Olil, I'm a Kakar Vardaya. He says, because if you're going to go in, maybe I should say this a little bit, perhaps a line before, to explain how we know they want to go in. So the rose garden could say, if I let you go in, you're going to ruin the roses. So, no. Okay, so the Gemara says, Masnisa Plika al Hadad Rabbi Mana. The following brisa seems to argue on Rabbi Mana, who said they would not go in. The Tanya, we learned in a brother brisa. I'm not sure what the Tanya says in the article of Vilna. Karmani Moicher, I'm selling you a vineyard. Abish Emo Gfanim, even though it has no grapevines, I raise a mocher. It's sold Shalom Mechar Lo El Hashem. And you only say the name. I say Kerem. Pardes Ani Mocher, I sell you an orchard. Abish Emo Lamas, even though there were no trees. Even it's called a paradise, called orchards. That's how I do. So apparently, the Yinaz running Yerushalmi had no roses. It was called the Yinaz running, but there were no roses. So therefore, there's no raya, because there could be they did let them in, because they now weren't concerned about the roses, because there was no roses. It was only called the rose garden, wasn't actually a rose garden. Okay, that brings us to the Mishnah here, Chesed Ralph. So we'll stop here for today.